Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. We're happy that you're here to join us on this World Mental Health Day. My name is Carrie Hodson, and I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. Happy to join you from wherever you are. And we're going to have a beautiful journey today with Maria Teresa Blazquez. But before I introduce her and our musical guest, I'd like us just to take a moment to get into that meditative mood and create the atmosphere where we're receptive. So let's go ahead and if you're new to this and you've never been here before, just follow along by keeping your feet a little bit apart from each other on the floor and keep your hands upright in your lap and just be in that receptive mood that you're going to get something today, that you're going to gain something, maybe a new experience, or maybe you'll deepen in the experience that you've already had in this meditation. So let's go ahead and slow things down by closing our eyes. And one of the things we know really helps to get us in that state of meditation is to just relax your tummy. Just completely relax any tension you might have there. And then we can take our hands behind our back and just pull our shoulders back for a nice stretch across the heart area. And then how about we just take our shoulders and bring them up towards our ears and roll them back. And just let your shoulders drop. And just relaxing all the facial muscles. We can place our right hand on our heart and we're going to take a long, slow, deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale. And we know this really helps to balance and regulate our nervous system. So we'll take a breath and hold it. Exhale. You can push all that last little breath out with your diaphragm, with your tummy. And inhale. Hold. Exhale. One more deep breath. Hold it. Exhale. And just go into a natural rhythm. A little bit of a smile on your face. And just ask if you can have that connection with your inner self. This mothering energy is always there to connect with us. We can say, Mother, I just want to feel that connection. We can slowly open our eyes, feeling good. You can shake out your hands, rub your hands together, open them up. And I just, like to let us get a little bit in that meditative mood and create that atmosphere. So Dr. Maria is author of a book called Beyond Thoughts, I Exist. She's a PhD in bioengineering and medical physics. She's a medical physicist. And she has done some groundbreaking research. She had this experience of self-realization in 1987, and she was able to go through the day in this mental silence. And as a scientist, she's very intrigued by this experience and how she could bring that together with her scientific research. So she lives in that state of inner silence for much of the day. So, and I'm sure it really informs her research. So it's going to be really interesting to hear. she sounds like, a real intellectual giant, but she's so humble as well. And she makes her research and her program so relatable. And also at the end of her slides, she's going to bring us into that state of meditation, into mental silence. And then following that, I'm going to introduce a musical guest whose music, Indian classical music, really helps all of our central nervous system to balance and to calm down. So for thousands of years, the music, this classical music, has been known to bring us into that state of meditation. And the interesting thing about music is it keeps the busy part of the mind from taking over, because the mind just floats along on those notes, and it just really, it doesn't challenge the mind. It keeps it in this very meditative state so that you're able to go deeper. So I hope you really enjoy the music. We'll be introducing Steve Day later. But for now, I want to turn it over to Maria, and we'll just enjoy her presentation now. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Spain. And I'm sure we have people from all over the world who are eager to meet you and listen to, you discuss some of your research along with your meditation. So go ahead, Maria.
Yeah, this is the magic of the internet. I don't need to travel.
Exactly. We can be all together.
Yeah, let's enjoy that. So, as we are already in this state, we feel that we are here. That's the main point. All this session is aimed to find ourselves. Last weekend, they invited me to teach a little bit about meditation. And at the end, a woman said, "Oh, I feel inside that I was meeting with myself." And inside, I was like saying, "Hello, how long time I didn't see you." And so she was explaining this feeling. She understood, okay, in a way, I have this role as a mother. I am the boss in the enterprise. I do this other thing. But what I felt is myself, like right. Inside. I was so happy. Oh, hello, you're here. You're waiting for me. So that is in all of us. It's something inside our life, which we really are. It's always there. That's always there, waiting for us. So sometimes we meet what we are, and sometimes we are in our mental programs. So today we try to understand a little bit how this brain works, how are these mental programs, and how to get in touch with ourselves, what we really are. So I will share with you.
Yes, let's see this.
Change. Here we are. So getting mental health, going beyond thoughts. We'll see that many things are there we can't really manage to enjoy life. So the timeline is this. First, we will speak a little bit about body and mind. What does our body and mind allow us to do? First, we need to know we are here, we got this body. So what is there? I can really take advantage of what is there. Then we will see where are the problems. Because along our lives, through experience, through learning, neural connections are created in our brain. So with our neural programs, we live like influence. We have our neural programs influence the way we see the world and ourselves. Then we will move to meditation, and we will see what meditation is from a physiological point of view. We will always keep on this physiological basis. And to keep in this way, we don't need to know about anatomy, physiology, nothing of that kind. I will do a very simple approach based on our daily life experience. And then we will move to solutions. Where are the solutions? Witnessing obstacles to go beyond them. So when we talk about this physiological basis, we may refer to it as brain, mind, body, nervous system. To make it easier, we will talk about brain. And the question is, what does our brain allow us to do? Because scientists, we love making questions, because we love finding answers. So sometimes to find the question is the way to start to find the real path to knowledge. So this is the question. What does our brain allow us to do? We are able to move muscles. Life is movement. We are able to perceive. Now you are looking at me, you are hearing me, but also we feel inside. We think, of course. We are able to think. And also, we are able to guide attention. And I will say, attention is the most important thing. The strength of a person is the strength of his attention. It's not the strength of the thoughts. It's the strength in the way we guide our attention. So, apart from this, we have nothing to do. All the vital processes, everything that keeps us alive, we do nothing about it. All the processes inside of us, when we do research about it, we are amazed how harmonious, how complex, how fractal, multifractal. Is beautiful the way we are made. So the most important things are done in an autonomously way. So health mainly is done for us. But as we have this tool, we think, we move, perceive, and guide attention, maybe we put obstacles through this. But keep us on this. We've been born to be healthy. All is done for us. And we just think, move muscles, perceive, and guide attention. So we will refer to this as brain modes. Thinking mode. Thinking mode refers to the activity. This inner discourse, which maybe we feel is always there. But it's only one part of the brain. It's only one brain mode. We have many others. Second one is the perceiving mode. It's our sensory system collect information from outside and from inside. The active mode encompasses all the function involved. It involves all the movement on our body. And then the second group is related to the attention. So this may be less familiar to you. For you, it's clear, I think, I move, I feel, but also I guide attention. I observe, I contemplate. But it's not I look at something, no. It's our attention bringing elements to our awareness. We are choosing all the time the element coming to our awareness. Now, you are choosing. Are you paying attention to my words? Are my words coming to your awareness? Or maybe you are paying attention to your thought. If you are paying attention to your thinking mode, then maybe you are not listening to my words. And that is your freedom. I may try to do my speech attractive to you, to attract your attention, but I can't force your attention. That's your freedom. So we refer to this as the observing mode. Sorry. You feel your attention? Can you feel what are you doing with your attention? So when this intensity of your attention increases, then you choose. Do I want to pay attention to my thoughts or not? And when attention goes beyond thoughts, then you experience the silence mode. In the silence mode, still you are hearing me, still you can move, still you can enjoy dancing, eating. You don't need to think all the day. There are many things we don't need to think about. So the key is the observing mode to guide attention, because sometimes the attention is off. It means the attention goes automatically. We don't realize where it is. But when we guide attention, we say we are using the observing mode. It's a view not confused by thoughts. So that's the most important mode for scientists. As a scientist, I need to observe the thoughts so as not to get confused by them. Richard Feynman, which is a very famous physicist, he used to say, science is a way of trying not to fool ourselves. And we may say, attention is a way of trying not to fool ourselves. If the observing mode is on, you are listening to your thoughts and you say, this is correct. This is going nicely, what is coherent. Oh, this one is not describing reality in a proper way. But if the observing mode is off, then you tell to yourself anything. You may try. You tell yourself something which is not true at all. But if you tell yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, at the end, you believe it. Or if someone tells you something again. But if you keep your observing mode on, you don't fool yourself. So, where are the problems? In the thinking mode? Perceiving? Where? Sorry, I had a... Of course, the mental problems are in the thinking mode. And this is one of the evolution that took place in our brain in the last step of our evolution. We could say that is a state-of-the-art tool. It's something great, but it's so complicated. It got so many possibilities that it even allows you to choose between its functional and dysfunctional use. You may do as a scientist, you observe, so your neural connections are done correctly. You have very nice mental programs that helps you along your lives, or you can choose to have a dysfunctional one. So you tell yourself things which are not appropriate. Everything you tell has an effect, and you are using your thinking mode in a wrong way. So, and we know how our brain is working. we know where the problems are. And now let's move to the meditation. How meditation is related to this observing mode. How meditation may help us to have this mental health. And I will propose a very specific definition of what meditation is, because nowadays there is not a consensus about what meditation is. And one of the main objectives of my research was this one, to find a specific definition of what meditation is based on the physiology. And that's the result. In a way, we practice meditation. So by practicing meditation, we are aware of what attention is. So we increase observing mode. We pay attention to our body. So we increase perceiving mode. And in this way, the thinking mode decreases. That's practicing meditation. That's meditation practice. When we are able to guide attention and we have this desire to go beyond thoughts, then we reach the meditation state. And that's a physiological state. Our nervous system is working in a specific way. The thinking mode is not there, so we are not putting obstacles, and our nervous system is working smoothly. So meditation practice, you increase observing mode, perceiving mode, and you decrease thinking mode. Sorry. And the meditation state, you are guiding your attention, you are perceiving, you feel the silence. And while being in this meditation state, you may be walking in the nature, you may be dancing, you may be doing something. It's not needed to be sit, close eyes. No. A meditation state is just the moment in our lives that we don't use the thinking mode. And whenever we need the thinking mode, we use it. But if we don't need it, we don't use it. That's the meditation state. And to explain this a little bit, yesterday I thought about this analogy. Mazinger Z is a cartoon I used to watch as a kid, 40 years ago. No, 40, even 50 years ago. So this robot was guided by a human being. This human being got a small plane and stood over the robot head. And from there, he was able to manage it. So the pilot takes his position and guides the robot. And three different things can happen. First, the robot has artificial intelligence. So the pilot, the human being, is kidnapped. And he does not have access to the control to guide the robots. So the robot acts according to its programming. That's the mental awareness. That's what happens when we only use the thinking mode. We work through our mental programs, through our emotional programs, through all these neural connections we've been doing along our life. If we done this correctly, because through our experiences, through our learning, we were able to observe and to decide which is right, which is not, then it's all right. We can be in this mental awareness and our programs are fine. But if that's not the case, then we have mental problems. So the thing is to recognize, am I in a mental awareness or not? If I am in a mental awareness, is the neural programming? That's what I said before. Okay. Second possibility, the robot still has artificial intelligence. All the programs are there, but the pilot is active and he's choosing the programs to be used. That means awareness of being. You are using your attention. You are guiding your attention. That's the observing mode. So whenever the observing mode is on, the human being, the pilot, he is not kidnapped. He is acting. So this is the way we try to live. In this awareness of being, we find ourselves and we feel that we observe. There is a distance between ourselves and the thoughts. There is a distance between the role I do in my life and myself. So when you are able to feel the difference between the robot and yourself, then you have this awareness of being. And here you choose how you use your thinking mode. You choose the program you pay attention to. And the key is attention, because if you pay attention to a thought, it goes on and the one, the next one, next one. But if you don't pay attention to a line of reasoning, it gets dissolved. So by doing so, we are doing weak or strong our neural connections. If you do a kind of reasoning many times, then it gets strong. But if you say, I don't pay attention to this reasoning, it gets weak. To go from 1 to 2, we practice meditation. We turn on and expand the observing mode. So to practice meditation, there are many different ways. Someone may like to do so by walking in the nature. Another may like to do so by doing Tai Chi. Another may like to do drawing, because when you draw, also the thinking mode decreases, or playing music. That's to practice meditation. It helps you to be aware of yourself. Meditation practice, increase observing mode, perceiving mode, and decrease in thinking. So, observing mode implies a voluntary use of attention. And now you must realize how your attention is getting stronger. You feel more what your attention is. And it helps because the presence of the observing mode allows us to develop a functional thinking mode. That's one of the main conclusions. And this you can experience in your life. Find the way you practice meditation. Find the way you increase your observing mode, your perceiving mode, and you decrease the thinking mode. So that you create a kind of a space between the thinking mode and yourself. Because when we are identified with the thinking mode, it's the robot that is working, and ourselves, we are kidnapped. So whenever you feel this space, oh, I am witnessing my thoughts. I am witnessing what is going around. That means you are guiding your attention. And the third possibility, the robot has artificial intelligence. The pilot is active. And sometimes he gets off of the robot while it's being fixed. Because we understand the body, the health in our body is done by our autonomous nervous system. We do nothing. So when we are in this meditation state, when we realize now, I don't need to think. That's the best way to regenerate. We are not putting obstacles to our nervous system. So if we are stressed or something is problematic, if we reach this attention and we go beyond, then our body rests and by itself enhance regeneration. So this is the thoughtless awareness. Attention is effortlessly guided. We take a break. We understand that is the living processes that are responsible for regenerating our body. We get off of the robot. So from 2 to 3, the observing mode has become so intense that we bring our attention beyond thoughts. That's all. We are in the meditation state, observing, receiving in silence. And this is one of the main conclusions. In mental silence, we promote regeneration. And in mental silence, still we enjoy the taste of a fruit. We don't need to think. Still we smile. We dance. All the things we were born with are there. We are just giving holidays to these mental programs we have created along our lives. So like this, we have reached the last point, solution. And we've seen one solution is witnessing what's going on. It's like you're sitting in your sofa, the thinking mode is talking, and you say, oh, it's not this way, please go the other side. So we feel like the boss in our chair, and we decide over our thoughts. So like this, little by little, it's not magical, it's not from one day to the other. But as we use our thinking mode in a functional way, little by little, we get nice neural connections. And another solution is the silence mode. In this state, our nervous system is working smoothly, is taking care of us, is taking care of our stress, is getting us to balance. And the good news is that the silence mode is shared. It's not something we have to learn. It's not something we have to do. It's not something we have to put effort to have it. We just need to pay attention and to have the desire. And the first time I had this experience was when I met Srimataji Nirmala Devi, our meditation teacher. So we used to call her Srimataji, which means mother. Because in a way, when you have this experience of mental silence, you feel like you wake up to a new way of living. Is to find yourself. And you find the very best version of yourself, which is already there, which is always there. The only thing we need is to stop thinking, because the problems are in the thinking mode. And from this silence, then it's easier to witness the thoughts, to do changes little by little. So let's share the silence mode. The person is in silence. You just need to have this desire. See if you have this desire to experience now the mental silence. Just pay attention. Stretch your hands like this. You put your hands near your heart. Just close your eyes. I want to experience the silence inside of me. And you feel your heart. You feel your attention on your heart. Now you move your attention to the top of your head. You raise your hand, put your fingers together. With the fingertip, you press a little bit on top of your head. And you feel your attention is here in this point. Now you raise your hand, you open your hand, and see how spontaneously your attention is here, between your hand and your head. See what you feel. And try to contemplate your heart. From the top of your head, contemplate your heart. Take down your hand, open your eyes. Can you look without thinking? Now, like a scientist, observe. How is your attention? Anchor in the silence. So you may feel your hands. What are you feeling in your hands? And what are you feeling on top of your head? And see if you feel you are really with yourself in the silence.
Oh my goodness. Really great, Maria. It's just that feeling of being present. And I love this metaphor with the cartoon. That was excellent, excellent way of describing the way our thoughts can take over. The other thing that I took note of is when you said that somebody told you that they felt like they were meeting for the first time. And there we go. That we were meeting ourselves, but there's something really familiar about this experience at the same time. And I think it's like, if you go back to your childhood, before there was so much programming, you were able to just be present and enjoy. And so in that way, when we become adults and there's all this programming and all these thoughts, and then when you get the silence, you're like, oh, I remember this. There's a little bit of that familiarity to it as well. So it is like, oh, there you are. You've been gone for many years, and think about all those people out there on their own program. It's really amazing, and actually noticing that we don't really connect to one another until we meet ourselves, right? Because we're in this little, box of ideas and concepts and thoughts, and so it's really, really amazing to have that experience. Yes. Thank you for bringing us through that. This cartoon robot is incredible. It's a really, really excellent way to help people understand that there's an observer, almost like there's somebody driving the car almost automatically, and then there's somebody watching. It's like you're in the witness. I hope everyone enjoyed that, and I'm sure you did, because I could feel that there was this presence, this silence with all of us. So to deepen, and we're getting some nice comments, Maria. So Ashrit says, love the robot. Like it's kind of like an anime robot, right? How does the robot function like us in meditation? So maybe you could answer that question. He says, thank you, Maria, for mental health awareness with Sahaja Yoga, and Carrie for the introduction. I have the mind of a scientist. I think really all of us do who are seeking this, the truth, right? We have that mind of a scientist. So I think the question is, how does the robot function like us in meditation? Does that make sense?
In the meditation state, you surrender the road. You just understand that the living processes take care of it. And you just enjoy the silence. And sometimes you are in this also silence mode, but you are alone your day. So in that case, you use your robot.
Right.
I need this program, I need this mathematical knowledge, I use it. But the key is to make sure the pilot is not kidnapped, that you are really there, that you are choosing how your thinking mode is working. Maybe this is the key. When the thinking mode is going along, doing what it wants, then you are kidnapped. Is this something, I may say this, artificial intelligence just working?
Mm-hmm.
And it really happens a lot because we get so involved in the thoughts. We're in the middle of the thoughts. And meditation helps us mainly to realize that. Because when we stop, okay, now I'm going to observe. I am going to observe these thoughts. I'm stronger than these thoughts because my attention is stronger than my thinking mode. So when you feel your attention, the strength it has, and you're like, wow, it's true. If I don't pay attention to this program, it dissolves. And from a physiological point of view, we know there's a plasticity in our brain. So imagine you are in the nature, and you go all the time along a path. So you do the path. All the vegetation disappear. Again. But if you stop going through this path, then the path regenerates.
Mm-hmm.
It means we are all the time doing changes in our brain. It depends how we use our thinking mode. If we use our thinking mode together with the observing mode, we are choosing the path of resonance that we create in our brain. So maybe a wrong path may appear, but we observe, this is a path, I don't want it. Just if you do that, and you stop following the path, the neural connection that support this path get weakened.
Yeah, that's true. And I think one of the mental health challenges that people have are persistent negative thoughts. And they just go over and over and they create this deep groove, right? And then they identify with those thoughts and act on them. And I think what's really interesting about self-realization is that word self, right? Is that that's not you, but you have identified, the person has identified and built a whole persona around something. And then to come back to the self and go, oh, okay, that was, how sometimes people say, what was I thinking? It's like, yeah, what was I thinking? And the observer seems to be more closely connected with who we really are, right? The observer is able to witness these thoughts from another perspective, from up there, so to speak. And then, of course, you know, sometimes your mind is going to go to the old thing or whatever. But from that perspective, if you can have, like you said, that attention, you say, oh, there you are. I see, you know, I'm doing this, you know, you have to be a little firm maybe in your
Yes, and then it goes smoothly.
firm with that.
Yeah, but then it goes effortlessly. When you really realize the observer, you may call it the self, the spirit, then it goes very smooth.
Right. Yeah. And I guess that dovetails very nicely into your research, that you find that you can change, you can transform. Actually, there's something happening in the brain with this neuroplasticity where the vegetation does grow over, and that is not an easy path to cut now. Before, you know, it starts to go away. It leaves your attention because it's not there anymore. It's grown over with new neurons or whatever.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff, and we're so privileged and pleased that you were here to share all that with us. I think we are going to move on now if Steve is ready. And what I think Maria and I would ask all of you to do at this point is to just take another deep breath and just let go of any concepts or thoughts, and just go back into the silence. And just like Maria was saying, you can contemplate your heart right on the top of your head and a few inches above, and just put your hand there, facing your palm towards the crown of the head. You might feel that subtle energy flowing as the thoughts just fall away and we are back in the silence. We bring our hands down and just keep them upright comfortably in our lap. Just let your shoulders drop, and try to keep your attention at the top of your head as you listen to the music. And with that, I will hand it over to Steve Day, our musical guest. Thank you so much, Steve. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you could make the time this morning to come along and bring us deeper into meditation. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Welcome, and it's great to join you.
Okay, so let's bring Maria on and bring Maria back. And I just wanted to thank everyone for joining this morning. It is a little bit after 10, but if you could stick around just a bit longer, it would be nice to get some of these questions answered for a minute. So how about coming back on with us, Maria? And just to let you know, we had a few comments and really lovely things to say. So beautiful, Maria, best explanation of meditation I have ever heard. So, and then we heard, thank you, Maria, beautiful explanation. Great session. I'm happy to see the session is recorded because somebody had to join late, but was really happy to come on. And the encouragement was feeling every moment from the presenter. Loved it so much and appreciate it a lot. So I think, you know, you made it very clear that we could be thinking while you're presenting too. And this person was able to feel every moment, feel their attention was on what you were saying, which is really part of being in mental silence, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because we can hear and we don't need to think when we hear. And also when we talk, when we stop talking, we realize, and maybe the silence is there.
Indeed.
Indeed, it can be alone with us. We just need to use this observing mode.
Correct. Yeah. And I think a lot of people hopefully feel that with the music as well, that your mind gets to relax, your thoughts get to, you know, you get to take a break from all of that. And it is very regenerative to just sit and just absorb all the notes. So beautiful explanation and experience. Thank you. And then another person asked, are we able to experience one or more modes simultaneously? FYI, I experience silence as you described. Very lovely. Thank you, Maria. So asking if those modes can be happening at the same time. Is the mind able to do that really?
Yes, it's physiological. For example, the acting mode, to move. When we repeat a movement several times, we create motor programs. So we don't need to think. Imagine you learn to dance. When you dance, you are not thinking. When you are walking, you don't need to think. So acting mode and silent mode got together, and the physiological basis is there. We can explain it with more details, how it goes inside, and they go together. And also the perceiving mode, also we don't need the thinking mode, because the sensorial information is coming up to the thalamus, for example, then it goes to the brain cortex. But first we feel, then we may translate into words. Mm-hmm. So silence and perceiving mode also works together. And of course, observing mode and silent mode, they work together as well.
Yeah, it's like if you look at the sunset, you're perceiving the sunset. There's perception, right?
And we just choose the moment we use the thinking mode. Because silence or thinking.
I mean, people would say, how do we have a choice? Because they don't feel they have a choice, that the thinking is kind of, so one person.
All pervading.
Yeah, one person
we
said.
feel our thinking is all pervading. But in this way, we feel it's a small portion. just a small portion. Only thing is that we are using that too much.
Right. And it feels like it's everything. So one question here, how to detach oneself from this robot?
We switch on the observing mode. It means whenever you feel your attention and whenever you feel that you are guiding your attention, so the pilot is no longer kidnapped. You are there. When you observe, is yourself, is your spirit, which is witnessing, which is observing. So the difference you must realize is the difference between the mental awareness, which is the ego. The ego we can compare with this artificial intelligence that is taking control. And sometimes it's like that. We are in the mental awareness. And then we differentiate when we are witnessing. We are in the observing mode. So little by little, like a scientist, we realize, oh, this is the difference. I can do like this, da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an experiment for each of us. And the point is the attention. As the attention gets stronger, it arrives the moment that is effortlessly.
Great. Now, what would you recommend for people to kind of improve their attention? Is there anything else you would recommend, or just really you have to just, because what if the attention keeps moving back to the thought? How can we, in a practical manner, steady one's attention? Do you have any?
There are two ways. One way is what we can do, and another way is what it doesn't depend on us. So we can guide our attention. We can do like this, we touch here, we focus our attention on the heart.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it's our freedom. But then again, are the living processes that is really noticing our attention. That's why Sri Mataji gave us this important experience, because together with this experience is something special going on in our central nervous system. That's the Kundalini, that's the energy. And that's really special. The experience that Sri Mataji shared with all of us, because it's this living energy enlightening, literally enlightening our attention. So that's why it's so important to meditate.
And just let those natural processes.
Meditate with Sri Mataji, because as she's sharing this silence and this energy is flowing, it really helps.
Awesome. So Barb said, wonderful, so helpful to have a better understanding of how our brain works and overcoming mental obstacles. Thank you, Maria.
And thank you, Carrie.
No, it's really, it's such a simple, easy to relate to explanation with the pilot and the robot. I really loved that. And I think everybody else did too. How to be in detached witness in our thoughtless awareness. That was another question.
In thoughtless awareness, we are the witness. Effortlessly, we are witnessing everything. The good point is that if you have this thoughtless awareness, when it finishes, a thought comes, but still the attention is very strong. Mm-hmm. That's why it's so important to meditate, because when we stop, it's easier to reach the meditation state, the silence. So the attention gets stronger. And whenever a thought comes, it's much easier to see it, to understand, oh, this thought is coming for this mental program. Do I want it or not?
Yeah, so you really are the driver. You get to do that. You get to decide. And what's interesting too is our whole society is pulling your attention away from the silence, right? It's it's very, it's just very tempting to keep your attention, like Srimataji said, galloping like a horse, you know? And I think that's, to have that well-being and that peace, we really have to stop that horse galloping. Someone else said, lovely, I learned even more about Sahaja Yoga and what it does, and in a very scientific way, and such not great knowledge to learn about. Just wanted to let people know that Steve Day has been meditating for many, many years, and has also his own published music. He's on Patreon. And so any of the links about Steve Day are here. If you enjoyed Steve Day's music, please check him out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Music by Day. And there's lots of ways that you can listen to Steve Day. And then Maria has published a couple of books, like I mentioned in the beginning. So you can do that. And then if Steve is still here, thank you so much, Stephen, for the beautiful music again, feeling so much growth with Mother's Power in me. Thank you, Stephen, for the beautiful music. More thank yous. We have one who said, this is new information to me and much appreciated. And someone from nearby, San Rafael, says, Stephen Day, you brought the sun out in San Rafael. Brilliant. She says, rock and roll Sarod solo. Thank you. So yes, Steve has some way back roots in rock and roll too. So love the Sarod music again. I did hear at times some louder noises. And the presentation will be shared, Katie. I think you can, it was live streamed on YouTube. You can still watch. So there's a link to YouTube in the chat. And so there, it'll also be shared. So some people saw last year's mental health presentation, so they know Maria already. Jasmine says, bless you, thank you so much. So lots of love and appreciation coming. Beautiful music helped me connect deeply this morning. And Mother's energy was there. So yeah, so Steve is saying, all good, everyone, happy to play for everyone this morning. And we are so happy that you were able to join us from Southern California, and Maria from Spain, and all of you all over the world. Have a beautiful mental health day. I hope this brought you some well-being and joy. And don't forget that you have all the support for your well-being and mental health right here on Meditate Anytime. There are sessions 3 times a day, and then we do these special programs on some weekends like this. And it's just been my absolute pleasure to be here with you and share this beautiful event. And, you know, we all created an atmosphere together, and we feel so connected to one another, and that can't only be good for our mental health, right? So just bow to everyone here in gratitude, much gratitude to Maria and Steve and all of the crew who do the technical things in the background. And most of all, thank you, Srimataji, again and again for bringing this amazing and unique method of getting self-realization. All right. You all take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we'll see you next time.